All right. Hopefully I got everything situated with knowing everything that I can know about records. So first thing that I want to get clarified right out of the gate, these record scores are misleading. This is not something that you want to primarily or prioritize, essentially. They are nice because they do give you, bonuses, and they have certain breakthroughs of bonuses at certain intervals. They're more significant as you get up, like right here, going from 20 to 21. That's about 400 attack increase. And there's another one. It's a pretty substantial increase. And I believe the last one is going to be when you get to 31. So ideally, like, perfect record is going to have at least a 31, since that is like the last break. Otherwise, like, yeah, you still get increases going further, but they're not going to be as significant as this break right here. But again, you don't want to prioritize getting as high of a score as possible. What you really want to prioritize are the potentials that you are getting through the run. Because a lot of the, I've been trying to get, a good fire team updated with, the new Laru. And I had one, this one. It was a 33 score. It was really good. It had a decent amount of potentials that, well, Thunder Punch kind of sucked, but I was getting good performance with it. Trust me, it was good. But I ended up having to trying to get like better scores, and I was getting, it's not as good of a record score, but I got better in performance using this over something else. Like, the potentials are what you want to prioritize when you're doing ascension runs. That's really what you want to do. Now, something to sort of keep in mind with I guess the scoring for records is how the scoring for the record is done. Again, you still want to prioritize potentials, but once you get your core potentials for whatever build you're going for, then I would recommend going for, trying to prioritize notes a little bit more. Because, you get like some random events through ascension runs, and sometimes you have the option of like, getting a potential for like a support or a random potential or whatever, or you can get some notes. I would, depending on where you're at in the ascension run and in your record build, will determine what you will want to pick. Now, something else to keep in mind, and I mentioned this in previous videos, but 5-star discs, because they have 2 potentials or 2 skills on them to activate with notes, you're going to get a lot more points for activating these. And if I remember correctly, and maybe somebody did the figuring out like how points are distributed and whatever, and I tested some of them myself, and I can confirm that these are accurate. Maybe I'll try to put it up on screen to show the chart that they made. So as you can see, the points that you get for activating harmony skills, the skills is actually, kind of significant boosts to the score. Like the different potentials that you get, like they're all generally the same. You're always going to get the same amount of core potentials, so that's just like a base minimum. And this is all, and I'm saying all this all based on if you have your Ascension research maxed out. I'm saying that all with all of this maxed out. That's what I'm basing all of this on. So harmony skills, giving 120 points per level skill. It's fairly substantial, because a lot of the times, you know, you could be building, you know, notes throughout the run or whatever, get to the end, see like, you know, an elemental note that's like on sale, so it's just 200 coins for 15 notes. You could get that, activate like 4 or 5 skills at a time, and now your point score is just gonna skyrocket just from that one purchase. Like when it comes to record scores, the harmony skills are what's gonna give you the most points. However, when it comes to, you know, performance and damage that you want, the potentials are more important. They are going to give you much more benefit. It's kind of a weird system, kind of at odds with each other, because you're getting more points for something that doesn't impact your performance as much. Yeah, it's kind of odd. Now, something that I had to really go into and figure out is when you get a record, you know, for this one, say, you know, because these records or these discs, I don't have them leveled all the way. So what exactly happens when you have a record, but you go and level these discs up? And that was something that I was curious about and I had to figure out. So through my findings, when you do level up a disc, it does not add the notes that you get for like supports and whatever. Like it'll stay the same. Your total note count, it'll stay the same. It will not increase it. Another thing it won't do, it won't increase your score, because, well, if it doesn't, it's not adding notes, then it's not increasing your score. And if you're increasing, you know, the level of main skills, it doesn't affect the score at all anyways. It's just potentials, the notes you have, and the activated skills that determine the score of a record. You level them up for the support skills or discs. You know, it doesn't add to your total note count, so score stays the same, note count stays the same. So that means no, you can't just like get an extra one and then have a skill activate. It doesn't work like that at all. Like everything, for the most part, is just static. It stays the same. The only thing that changes when you upgrade or you level a disc is the base stats. The base stats, they do update with a record, and that was my main point of thing is, you know, I mean, both things are pretty important. The notes that you get from support discs and then the base stats, whether they reflect an update on your already made records. But yes, base stats, they will affect, you know, the records you already have made. So if I go and, you know, upgrade any of these, because both main discs and support discs and their base stats are taken into account. But if I, you know, upgrade any of these, it will reflect and it will count towards an upgrade, you know, pack and everything. But considering that, you know, updating or leveling support discs doesn't take the notes into account, I mean, you might want to try and like re-get your record when you upgrade your support discs. So I think for the main discs, it's pretty much just the base stats that matter. Like the skills aren't affected by level at all, unless, you know, you're getting notes for them. So the thing that I haven't tried yet is if you crescendo a disc, you know, say I get another one of these discs, and you know I crescendo it, and because crescendoing will it'll upgrade the skill. Crescendo, and yeah, it'll upgrade the skill, the main skill that you have there, as well as give more base attack, I'm pretty sure. So that's something that I haven't been able to try yet, but if I were to guess, it will probably update, because if it's going through, you know, judging by how everything works, the things with the records that will not update are things that affect the score. So anything to do with, you know, notes, potentials, whatever, it does not affect the score. Now, there is a bit of a rule break with this, and this comes from the potentials, because the max, well, yeah, first off, the max level you can get for potentials in an Ascension run is 6. That is the max. However, you can increase that with emblems, and emblems, it doesn't matter if it's like maxed out or if you have like a low amount or whatever, like emblems will increase the level of, yeah, so you get +2 or a +3 in levels. Yeah, as you can see here, it shows right here that there's a +5. That means that I'm getting essentially 5 extra potentials, and it's notified by the numbers being blue on Bold Challenge and Blast Chase. So, however, if I, for example, go here and I remove it, go back to records, 9825 shows that it's not there, and all of these, the potentials that were high up, Bold Challenge, Blast Chase, they're down to 6. So just to double check, 9825. $98.25 was the record score. 98.25 does not affect it. That is the only, seems to be the only rule-breaking thing when it comes to records, is the emblems. But anything else that has to do with the record score isn't going to update after the fact of making the record. So just a little bit of a review. So when it comes to creating records, you primarily want to, you know, work on potentials. If you get the core, you know, your core potentials, whatever, core potentials being like the primary, you know, ones that will really make the build, then you can put focus on notes. And you still kind of want to, you know, collect notes as you're going through. I mean, you're going to collect notes anyways, but purchase them when they're like on sale in the shop and whatever is always good. You'd only do that for notes that pertain to the discs you have equipped. So say for this one, attack, Ignis, and luck would be good. Melody of skill would also be good. Melody of ultimate, probably pretty decent. There's a lot of variety here with notes. It's another thing you want to try to. It's nice. It's nice to have, you know, the main discs require the same element types or note types for activation. That way you can focus on, you know, the support discs that you're putting in to prioritize, you know, helping build those. That's ideally what you want to do. But I mean, we don't have like the largest variety of discs yet, and a lot of stuff is very mishmash. As far as things go right now, whatever, you know, try to kind of match things well, you know, but for the most part, the more you have in, the better. Pretty much. And it's partially why I don't know if felt like I should have said this with the discs, or maybe I did. I don't remember, but discs that have the Melody of Luck as a requirement for activating the skills, which is pretty much just about every like signature, you know, you could say signature disc, which is going to be the discs that you pull that are limited discs. They seem to always have a Melody of Luck as a activation requirement. And if you're wanting to get, you know, good scores for your records, kind of comes at a detriment because Melody of Luck is a pretty rare note to get in Ascension runs. And I found this out when I was rebuilding my Lux, and I found it to be relatively easy to kind of reach 30 at least. And I don't have Shia's signature disc, and none of these require Melody of Luck. So, and I was able to, you know, put in discs that will, you know, help boost and activate those skills. So it was pretty easy to get to at least like 31 and just like get into the rainbow, I guess, tier. I don't know. So some things, they're a little confusing with the discs, and it would really help to have like a total of like what the stats are for, you know, records and whatever. Maybe the next thing I make a video on is things that I would like added into the game that would be beneficial, whether it be maybe like quality of life or, you know, whatever. But kind of want to make a video like that and have some relatively you know, quite a fair amount of things to put in and kind of explain. So probably still going to take me a little bit of time to get through, come up with the different ideas, because that's one of them, is being able to see the totals of stats when it comes to records, because a lot of this is like, you know, everything is like set. So I don't see why we can't have a button and it will show, you know, I guess all of the characters that are in there and see the stats that are reflected and what, because we can see the totals for the trekkers themselves right here. So we can see the totals there. So I don't see why we can't see the totals for, you know, the records on top, what's there. So something that would be really nice to have and see. Kind of explained that already, but probably gonna mention it again. But anyways, that might be the next video I get working, going on, so we'll see. Still kind of trying to get a bearing for everything, get a routine down, get videos made and out. For anybody who cares. Primarily doing it because I kind of want to and I like the game. There's not a whole lot of coverage on it too, so but I think that's about it. If you got to the end of the video, got through my rambling, thanks for listening, and I'll see ya.